Imagine being stranded thousands of miles away from home with no money and no belongings. For most people, such a situation would lead to despair and frustration with their misfortune. But for Zeno of Cyprus, this became the foundation of his life's work and legacy. Zeno had once been a wealthy merchant, but he lost everything in a shipwreck off the coast of Athens around 300 BCE. With no clear direction, he wandered into a bookstore, where he stumbled upon writings about Socrates. His curiosity sparked, Zeno sought out the city's famous philosophers and began studying with them. As Zeno started to teach his own students, he founded a philosophy known as Stoicism, which would go on to inspire countless thinkers and leaders through its focus on virtue, tolerance, and self-control. The term Stoicism is derived from the Stoa Poikile, a decorated colonnade where Zeno and his followers would meet to discuss philosophy. Today, when we refer to someone as Stoic, we mean they remain composed under pressure and avoid extreme emotions. While this captures some elements of Stoicism, the original philosophy was far more than just a mindset. The Stoics believed that everything around us operates according to a chain of cause and effect, resulting in a rational order of the universe they called logos. While we cannot control every external event, Stoicism teaches that we can control how we respond to them. Instead of picturing an ideal society, Stoics confront the world as it is, striving for personal growth through 4 essential virtues: practical wisdom, or the ability to handle complex situations calmly and logically; temperance, meaning self-restraint and moderation in all things; justice, which means treating others fairly even when they wrong us; and courage, not only in extraordinary moments, but in facing everyday challenges with honesty and clarity. Seneca, one of the most renowned Roman Stoics, said, "Sometimes, even living is an act of courage." While Stoicism emphasizes personal development, it's not a philosophy of self-centeredness. Seneca, during a time when Roman law regarded slaves as mere property, advocated for their humane treatment, insisting that we all share a common humanity. Moreover, Stoicism does not promote passivity. It teaches that only those who have cultivated virtue and self-control within themselves can create positive change in others. Perhaps the most famous Stoic writer was also one of Rome's most notable emperors, Marcus Aurelius. Over his 19-year reign, Stoicism provided Marcus with the resolve to guide the empire through 2 major wars, all while enduring the loss of many of his children. Centuries later, Marcus's personal writings offered comfort to Nelson Mandela during his 27-year imprisonment as he fought for racial equality in South Africa. After his release and eventual triumph, Mandela emphasized peace and reconciliation, believing that while the injustices of the past couldn't be undone, his people could confront the present and work towards a more just future. Stoicism thrived as a school of philosophy for several centuries in Greece and Rome. Though it eventually faded as an official institution, its influence has endured. Christian theologians, such as Thomas Aquinas, admired its focus on virtue, and there are striking parallels between Stoic ataraxia, or tranquility of mind, and the Buddhist concept of nirvana. One particularly impactful Stoic philosopher, Epictetus, famously asserted that suffering arises not from the events themselves, but from our interpretations of them, a concept that resonates with modern psychology and the self-help movement. For instance, rational emotive behavioral therapy aims to change the harmful attitudes people develop toward their circumstances. Similarly, Viktor Frankl's logotherapy, informed by his time in a concentration camp, draws from the Stoic principle that we can find meaning in life, even in the darkest of times, by channeling our willpower.